Adidas have told me that the Supernova Rise and Supernova Solution are their daily trainer for the everyday runner. But are the new versions of these shoes any good? And is this a serious daily trainer for the everyday runner? Well, it's time to find out. Hello everybody and welcome to FORDY Runs. My name is Chris Ford and I'm a running coach who loves to make YouTube videos about running in general. We do some running shoe reviews, we do some race day vlogs. I charter my whole training journey on this channel. So if you like running, make sure you subscribe. Okay team, so the Adidas Supernova Rise. Now this is a shoe that came out last year and it took us all a bit by surprise because it came with Dream Strike Plus. Now this new PEBA blend of midsole was, well, a departure from Boost, and that was the most surprising thing about the shoe. Now this is version 2. We also have here the Solution version 2, and I'm going to explain the differences in just a minute. But yes, this is Adidas's daily trainer, they say, for the everyday runner. This is a shoe that they hope will appeal to us mere mortals, a shoe that will help us with those daily miles. But is it a serious daily trainer option for us? Well, in this video I'm going to tell you. But before we do that, we've got a couple of things to do. Firstly, I need you to watch this disclaimer so I can cover my arse. Right, with that done, I now need you to go into the comments and tell me, did you get version 1 of this shoe and how did you find it? Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk stats and features of this, the Rise, and of the Solution. Okay, so the Supernova Rise 2 is £130. It maintains the 35mm stack down to 25 and 10mm drop. It weighs 269 grams in my UK 9.5 and it fits true to size. Like I said, we've got the Dream Strike Plus midsole, which is this PEBA base midsole. We don't have Conti rubber on the outsole. I think it's Adiwear, but I can't confirm or deny that. We've got EVA rods underneath to help with stability and a cheeky little bit of propulsion. There is a 4% reduction in weight versus version 1. I want you to think of the Ride 18 and the Ghost from Brooks where this goes up against, and that's about that on the Rise. Now this is the Solution, and fundamentally it's the same shoe with a few minor differences. This shoe also has the £130 price on it. Again, 35, 25, 10mm drop, all the usual sort of stuff that we see on the Rise 2, but it is heavier. This is 289 grams. Okay, so let's compare the two because there's not much difference. Now this is your mild stability version of these shoes. Because this PEBA foam, well, is quite soft, they added a mild stability version. So I want you to focus in on the heel section here, okay? Look at the differences in terms of that EVA foam that you get here, not the PEBA Dream Strike, but look at, hang on, I've got them the wrong way around. No, I've got them the right way around. Look at the differences. Can you see that? There's much more of this harder EVA foam in the heel. It stretches a lot longer down here, see that? And that is to add stability. Okay, so now you know the differences, let's take a closer look. Okay, so here's the upper on the shoe, which is brand new, and this is where most of the weight reduction has come from. They've also got rid of some of the foam in the shoe as well to save some of that weight. Lacing's pretty good still. Comfort, despite the foam reduction, is still on point. Right, so there are the EVA rods that go underneath the shoe, and I say that's made of this same stuff, this harder foam that you've got in the heel. That's there to add stability, but also help with a little bit of propulsion. That's the outsole. As I said, it's not Conti rubber. I think this is Adiwear, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Again, there's the profile of the Rise 2. Now the Solution is exactly the same in terms of the upper, the outsole and the energy rods, and the tongue and the comfort and all that kind of thing. Right, so this video's taken a little bit longer than I was hoping to put together because basically I haven't done enough miles in the shoes before I could put a video out, and I'm somebody who likes to do miles in the shoes before I put a video out. Shock, right? But actually we've now got to a point where I've done enough in both to sort of give you some feedback on them. Now I've been using them for daily miles only. I've not done any sort of crazy long runs in them. I've just been doing bits and bobs like I do in the week, nothing mental, nothing crazy, but I have enjoyed running in them. The Dream Strike Plus is still a good foam, it still works well. You get a nice toe off on the shoe. The heels is heavily constructed, and I'll come on to one of the major problems with this shoe in a minute. But that actually I think will work for somebody who's a heel striker, but it doesn't feel like madly unstable or anything like that. The outsole works just fine actually, and it's been wet and horrible and all that kind of stuff, and the upper's got soaking wet, but it's been fine, people. It really has been, no problems at all. But the ride's enjoyable. It makes me feel very much, actually, I compared it against the Ghost, but it actually feels more like the second launch from Brooks. So if you're a big fan of the launch, I think you'll like this shoe. Now the solution is very heel biased, and again that will suit somebody who is a heel striker more than the Rise 2. The extra hardened EVA in the heel will help support in the heel area. As again, this is not an actual stability shoe, but it's a mild stability shoe. So if you are somebody who wobbles about and may find the Rise a little bit unstable because the People Blend foam, then go for the Solution. I actually personally prefer running in the Solution. I just feel a little bit more secure in the heel. And remember, I mildly pronate. But the shoe works well through paces. Again, nothing doing like crazy or anything like that. Easy pace for me, like 8:59 minute miles, you know, licking along. I've done some stuff down at 7.5 in the shoe. It's been absolutely fine. So in general, it's worked across my paces and that's been no problem. Now let's move on to things I like, and there's one big dislike. I like the way the shoe looks. I like the upper. I like the outsole. I don't know whether I like the energy rods or not, but they're not impacting me. I like the comfort, I like the lacing. I like the ride of the Solution and the support it gives me. I like the sort of old school daily trainer feeling that both these shoes give. Because with some of these modern day daily trainers, they've all gone mad in stack heights and like super soft foams and all that kind of thing. These shoes are a little bit old school and I kind of like that. So they're the likes. Now the dislike. This heel. This is the noisiest heel I've ever heard in my life. This hardened EVA on the back here, well, listen to this. I'm not joking, that's the sort of noise you hear when you run along in them. It drives me nuts. And it's even worse in this shoe. And it's a real shame because it really lets the shoe down how noisy it is in the heel. It's fine when you're sort of getting on your toes and getting after it, but if you're having a lazy day, you're going to be having a headache after your run. It really is just so loud. I do understand it's because this hardened EVA is like, because it's sort of flattened out there, it's just hitting the floor. It's just really annoying. So let's wrap this up. I think Adidas need to be commended for £130. I think they need to be commended for putting Dream Strike Plus in these shoes. They could have easily stayed with Boost, but they've tried to move away from that, so fair play to them. I think this is a shoe that's going to suit some people. Like I said, if you like a Brooks launch or that more traditional feeling daily train, this is a shoe that will work for you. I think this will work well on a treadmill, for example, and you can just do your daily miles in it. If you can get away from the noisy heel, you're going to have an enjoyable time in the shoe. It's not overly comfortable or anything like that. It's a ground feel, I said, back to basics daily trainer. But for me, if you're kind of digging that shoe, I'd honestly send you to version 1. A 4% weight reduction doesn't justify the extra money. I've seen version 1 for £70, which makes total sense to me. So if you're after a cheaper daily trainer from a high quality brand like Adidas, then go and buy version 1. I think that's the message to give here. I say both very good shoes, new uppers, great, all that sort of stuff, and it works well with your Dream Strike Plus, but I honestly think that you need to go and buy version 1 instead of version 2 at the moment. So that's it. I do think Adidas are onto something. I think either version 3 or version 4 of this shoe is going to be very good, and I do think they will eventually find their groove with a daily trainer. I do think that is something that's been missing in their lineup, and they're aware of that. And these shoes are a pathway to that. I do think they're moving in the right direction. They just need to tweak a few things. I say, like this bit in the heel, for example. But in general, the shoes are good, and it's a massive improvement versus what we used to have in terms of daily trainers from Adidas. So well done there. But yes, I would buy version 1, and let's hope version 3 is an improvement. I'm sure it will be, actually. And this is now a sort of stepping stone in terms of daily trainers for Adidas, because I think they're onto something, but it's just not quite there yet in version 2 to justify that sort of money. Go and buy version 1, which is a lot cheaper. Okay, team, that's it for me. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave me today, and I shall catch you all later.